This is Radio Health Journal. I'm Nancy Benson. This week, becoming a first-time father in your 40s or 50s. What's it like being an old dad to young children?
I often get mistaken when I'm with my kids at a supermarket as their grandfather. They'll say it explicitly. How are your grandkids today?
Older dads and young kids when Radio Health Journal returns.
I'm Reed Pence, the producer and host of Radio Health Journal. If you like listening to Radio Health Journal, you'll also like our sister show, Viewpoints, which covers a wide array of topics from education to history to the environment. Here's a preview of what they're covering this week on Viewpoints.
This is an invisible population nationwide. It's a swelling population. This is America.
Soaring housing prices are driving more and more people into homelessness. Then,
control is an illusion. Companies offer some choices, but they don't offer choices like stop surveilling me.
The digital privacy conundrum. I'm Marty Peterson.
And I'm Gary Price. These stories in depth this week on your public affairs magazine, Viewpoints.
Listen to Radio Health Journal and Viewpoints on your favorite radio station. And subscribe and listen anytime on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Radio Health Journal.
More women than ever before are becoming pregnant in their 40s. Much beyond that age, there's a biological limit for bearing children. Men, however, can become biological fathers at just about any age. In 1972, the average age of first-time dads was 27 and a half. Today, the average age is 31, and the number of men in their 40s and 50s choosing to become biological fathers has almost doubled since the 1970s. Research shows that the risk of birth defects increases only slightly when the fathers age. But what are the social consequences of being an old dad to young children?
We almost split up before we got married over the children issue. She wanted children very much. I very much did not. So we nearly split up, but we got together for 6 hours in a restaurant. She told me the stories of her life, a tough childhood, and she wanted a happy, normal family life. And I told her my stories, an alcoholic father, a house full of tension. And I realized that I wanted what she wanted. It was through the stories, really, not through a pro and con discussion, but just telling each other the stories of our lives. I realized she would be a great mother. She realized I had at least the potential to be a good father.
That's Tim O'Brien, National Book Award-winning novelist and author of the memoir, Dad's Maybe Book. O'Brien was 56 years old when his first son, Timmy, was born, and 58 when his second son, Tad, arrived. He worried that his crusty old chromosomes, as he puts it, had caused severe damage to Timmy.
As it turned out, the boys were healthy and they seemed to be happy kids. But we did fear it, especially during that horrible bout with acid reflux for the first 7 weeks of Timmy's life when he would scream nonstop. It wasn't even crying. It was hissing. He was in pain as an infant, but he couldn't talk, so he couldn't tell us that it hurt or where it hurt or even that it did hurt. So we felt, as rookie parents, kind of greenhorns at it, that we were somehow responsible for this. And it wasn't until Meredith began weeping uncontrollably that we finally ended up in an emergency room that was diagnosed. And that night, there was no more problem.
With concerns about old chromosomes put to rest, O'Brien started to worry about something else, that he might not live to see his boys grow up, or at the very least, that he would miss major milestones in his boys' lives.
When I had these children, I realized that when they began to know me, they'd know an old man. And that's what happened. It caused crying. The boys were young. Both of them came to me crying. They couldn't sleep. They both said, "You're going to die before you should." And I didn't lie. I said, "Yeah, I know. Let's put our time into what we do have and our energy into it, our love into it." They're still conscious of my deafness and my gray hair and my wrinkles. But I'm able, on the other hand, to play basketball still. I can still be a dad.
Still, because of his old age, O'Brien is 75 now, he's faced awkward social encounters as well.
I often get mistaken when I'm with my kids at a supermarket as their grandfather. And they'll say it explicitly. How are your grandkids today? And I'll have to either correct them, which is awkward, or just swallow it and take it, which I usually do.
But O'Brien says being an old dad to young kids also has some advantages. He has no doubt that his life experiences have made him far wiser than the much younger dads around him.
For me, just as an old father, I'm more patient than I would have been. I can take the homework and getting the kids to go to bed and all the things that attend being a father. I can do it in a way that I don't think I could have done as a younger father. And I've had other parents say that to me and say, man, how do you... I gave up writing for 10 years. I just stopped in order to be a present father. I doubt I would have done that at 28 or 38 or 48.
O'Brien made the choice to be present for his boys in a way that young fathers pursuing career advancement may not have the luxury to do. He makes sure to tell his boys on a regular basis, I love you, and gets the same affection in return. O'Brien shares the story of when his son Timmy didn't make the cut for the high school freshman basketball team. Timmy suffered big time, staying hidden behind his closed bedroom door for days.
He came out of his room, and even at 6 feet 1 inch, he cuddled up to me. I'm a little guy, so you get this big teenager cuddling up to you. And he said, Dad, it probably wasn't good enough. And I said, probably not. And he said, but Dad, I love you so much. And those words coming out of the tight-lipped teenage Blue are just so much more important than putting a big orange ball in a hole, as any parent would feel. Teenagers, at least mine, are retreating from words like that and from conspicuous displays of love. But out of the catastrophe came what seemed to me a kind of miracle that made me feel good about the world and about Timmy, but also about myself.
You may have noticed that O'Brien tells it like it is. He says he's always been honest with his boys, even when they ask about his experiences as a combat soldier in Vietnam. He shares with them how terrified he was when he got wounded by a hand grenade, and about how ugly war really is.
And it might make them a little less bellicose in their rhetoric, a little more thoughtful about finding other ways besides killing people to achieve your ends in the world.
In his early 70s, O'Brien wonders how many more days there can be for him. They're the same thoughts he frequently had as a soldier in Vietnam, working in heavily mined areas where 90% of casualties came from mines.
Every step was contingent. Maybe I'll be alive, maybe. And I feel that way again and as an older man, that tomorrow is a maybe, and the next day is a maybe. And I think it's true for all of us in the end. And we're all writing these maybe books full of maybe tomorrows until the last sentence gets its period. So we do everything, of course, we can to press the thought away. Watch television and go to cocktail parties and bridge tournaments and whatever we do. But it's there. We're human beings, and that's unlike the chipmunks. We're aware of it. And that's a gift. And I treat it that way. I don't look at it in a realistic sort of way. And I'm doing through this book and through living with my boys everything I can to make use of that compressed time that's left.
O'Brien is on the road now, on yet another tour of duty. But thankfully, this time it's to promote his book. Still, he can't wait to get home to his boys.
I hug them on the phone every night. I call and I do it verbally. I say, I'm giving you a hug now and a kiss. And it's tough being away from them, and I'm so looking forward to getting back.
Dad's Maybe book by Tim O'Brien is available now. You can learn more about all our guests by visiting our website at radiohealthjournal.org. Our writer-producer for this segment is Polly Hansen. Studio production by Jason Dickey. I'm Nancy Benson.
Radio Health Journal returns in just a moment.
Supporting immune function through a healthy diet has become an important new focus for many people these days. One key recommendation is to eat more vegetables and fruits, such as grapes, every day to improve immune function. Combining grapes with vegetables can help achieve this goal in a tasty way, according to registered dietitian Courtney Romano, health advisor for the California Table Grape Commission.
Fresh grapes are heart-healthy and hydrating and linked to benefits in multiple areas of health, including supporting immune function. Grapes are always a smart snack choice on their own, and they also pair well with other healthy foods such as vegetables to enhance flavor and nutrition. Add grapes to a kale, spinach, or arugula salad. Roast grapes with cauliflower or broccoli. Combine grapes with cucumbers and feta for delicious and healthful eating.
Grapes from California are a natural source of antioxidants and other polyphenols. Visit grapesfromcalifornia.com for more information and over 300 recipes.
More than 80% of people say that vision is the most important sense. So why do about half of us skip our annual eye exam? Dr. Valerie Sheedy-Pallone, optometrist and vice president of Eye Care Solutions at VSP Vision Care, shares why you should book a comprehensive eye exam, even if your eyes feel fine.
Comprehensive eye exams are more than just visual correction. They can also help detect signs of underlying chronic health conditions like diabetes, which show no obvious symptoms, especially in its early stages, which is why catching these diseases sooner with the help of an eye exam is so crucial. Your eye doctor can tell you more about your overall health than you may ever know. We do that by dilating your pupils or using non-invasive technology to look at the blood vessels in the back of your eye.
VSP Vision Care is the only not-for-profit vision benefits company in the U.S. and has been a leader in health-focused vision care. Schedule a comprehensive eye exam with an eye doctor today. It's easy to find one near you at VSP.com. That's VSP.com.
When the alarm bell rings for an emergency, firefighters' hearts pump faster and their blood pressure soars, according to a new study presented at the American Heart Association Scientific Sessions 2021. Researchers outfitted more than 40 firefighters with wearable blood pressure monitors during their shifts and found that systolic blood pressure typically rose by 18 points or more during both fire and medical calls. Deborah Fairheller of the University of New Hampshire is senior author of the study.
All emergency and first responders should be aware of their health. Almost 3/4 of firefighters have high blood pressure, and less than 25% of them have it under control. This study shows that blood pressure can increase to very dangerous levels when responding to emergency calls.
Among firefighters, more than half of deaths in the line of duty are related to cardiovascular disease. Researchers hope to increase awareness that many firefighters have high blood pressure and they should have it well controlled to avoid dangerous levels during emergency calls.
And that's Radio Health Journal for this week. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to learn more. And check Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify for a library of past programs. Plus, you'll always find previous segments and information about our guests at radiohealthjournal.org. Join us again next week for another edition of Radio Health Journal.
Coming up next week on Radio Health Journal.
Misinformation creates a world where people don't know what to believe, so they believe nothing.
Doctors try to fend off false claims about COVID vaccines for kids.
Then why demanding people get vaccinations might be doing more harm than good.
We like to be given choices. We don't like to be told to do this or to not do this as human beings.
All that and more on Radio Health Journal.